Good morning, everybody. NC4XL, North Carolina for extreme lovers. This video is going to be primarily for each and every one of you who are thinking about becoming an activator. And you have a lot of questions. My God, your mind is going left and right. What, this, that, how, and so get ready to spend about a half an hour. I'm guessing that I'm going to just share some experiences. I am not an expert. I've only been a ham since 1978. I'm an old geezer. I've been in parks on the air since November 2020, so I have just a little bit of time. And I've activated over 300 parks. But let's see how we can answer some basic questions I'm thinking about trying to activate it and things like that. So I'm going to run off on my heart. I didn't write it down on paper. I should. But I really want to talk from my heart because that's what keeps me going. So you think you want to try activating. Well, I commend you. Awesome job, awesome thought. Let's get some of the hard stuff out of the way. There is no best antenna. There is no best radio. There is no best battery. There is no best laptop or device or software program. Okay? The best is what you have. The best is what you can afford. The best is what you start out with, and you'll change that with the addiction to other elements. So let's talk on a couple things. First of all, those of you that like QRP, that's low power. To my understanding, I'm not a QRP operator. That's 10 watts and less. I may be wrong, but I believe that's it. There are many POTA activations that happen with QRP, yes, all the time. It's a little bit more difficult maybe depending on band propagation, park location, noise, things of that nature, but it's done all the time. It's done in CW mode, it's done in sideband mode, it's done in digital, if I'm not mistaken. I am not a partaker of that mode, but that doesn't mean that it's not good. So you have opportunities. Now, if you're a tech class licensee, then you're sort of limited to where you can do some of your parks on the air activation. So get your general and not have to be limited. It's well worth the effort and time to step up. It really is. Antennas. Many of us that go out there use a variety of antennas, from NFEDs, vertical antennas, dipoles, G5RVs, buddy poles. Each antenna has a cost factor that you have to look at. Don't forget Wolf River Coil, an excellent antenna, great for starting out when you get out there. The antennas change when you go to different parks because some different guidelines of the park people telling you what to do, or the location, no trees, things of that nature. So you don't ever really know what to expect. As a brand new activator, it's nice if you can go out and look at where you're thinking about activating, get an idea, but that you don't have to. And when you go out to activate a park, make sure it's a recognized park entity by POTA, Parks on the Air, not by your state and local park that you think should be a park. That's another topic which we won't really get into. It's not going to happen right away in time, maybe, but there's guidelines that you and I are not going to sit and argue about. doesn't make no sense. You're looking at being an activator. Take well over 9,000 different parks, if I'm not mistaken, between DX entities in the United States and so forth. And it's growing every day. So you can go QRP or go QRO. You can do 100 watts like most standard radios are set up at. If you want to save your battery because you have a smaller battery, not a large 15 amp hour battery or 20 amp hour battery or 30 amp hour battery, because money makes a difference a lot of times what we buy, then turn your power down. Take your QRL radio and run it from 80 watts or 100 watts down to 50 watts, 40 watts. You'll increase the lifespan of the battery at that activation. There's nothing worse than running out of power when you're out somewhere. So you'll learn some of the different techniques to conserve power. You can go QRP with a QRL radio. You don't have to run like I do. If it's got 80 watts or 100 watts, I'm going there. But that's me. Everybody's different. Your radio, when you power it, you're not looking at plugging it into an electrical place, because most places don't have electricities that we go to that is convenient for you to operate the park. The other thing is we are practicing our emergency preparation setup for in times of emergency when the hams are called upon to be able to throw up an antenna or antennas on multiple bands to operate communications for many other companies or organizations or helping agencies. So I go out and practice every day, so to speak. I'm trying to work somebody who's out there set up portable. As an activator, you're the only one that sends the logs in. Everybody's dependent upon you, okay? The hunters that you work, they're not sending in no logs. If you're a hunter watching this, you don't send logs in. The activator is who is responsible for sending the logs in. Quickly, we'll talk about a little subject here. You can log it on paper like I do, go home and sit at your own computer, laptop, whatever, and put your information in. POTA does have a manual upload that you can do physically online. There are other softwares, N3FJP program, there's I think a N1MM, I'm not sure. There's hammers. I'm not recommending any other software to you. You have to find out what you hear about. For myself, what do I use? As a ham operator, I use N3FJP. For one sum of money, I get several different contest type loggings, plus for POTA parks, it's very easy to adjust it to make it work for POTA. Very easy to send the ADIFs. That's the type of file that we send up to Parks on the Air to get our records, let's say, transferred upward. Use what you can, but remember, you're the only one that's responsible as an activator for the logs going up. If you make all those contacts out there and don't send the logs up, you've helped nobody. You may get satisfaction that you contacted somebody, and that's good. If that's all you want, let us know and we'll make sure not to work you. And I don't mean that ugly, but your hunters that are out there chasing you, spinning dial and helping you by spotting you and things of that nature, that's their reward. Achievement levels are awesome and they grow so fast and it's hard to keep up with them. That's their certificates. Remember, POTA, Parks on the Air, is not a contest. You're not challenging somebody to be number one. The only challenge you have, really, is yourself. What more can you do? Are you willing to do? Are you going to do? The different levels, if you work this part 20 times, you're going to get a repeat offender. If you work it more than that, you can work all the way to an eagle. For those of you looking at this video right now, and if you are new, and you do have the POTA app, and I'm not bragging, but it's the easiest way to share it. You got a couple options. In the search at the top, type my call sign in, NC4XL. When it comes up, then go over to my profile and look at it. It's going to show you how many activations I made, how many unique parks I've activated, how many contacts I've made. And if you scroll down, you're going to see all the different awards or certificates or achievements that cost you nothing, that come to you in a PDF file that you can download, change over to a JPEG, print it, put it in your bragging book, put your wall in the back behind you of nothing but your accomplishments, because that's what we are doing it for. Not a contest. Not a contest. And you will be confronted by many people, especially on the war fans. This is not a contest, Ben. You're right. This is not a contest. I'm practicing my emergency communication setup in times of emergency, in times of Big Brother shutting the electricity down, etc., etc. There's no contest. So get that in your head and be proud of it. When people confront you, you don't have to be confrontal with them. Yes, sir, I appreciate your opinion. Have a great day, QRZ. And keep on going. That sounded a little cold, but let me share what I just did. I took control at that point of that scenario and not become argumentative with an individual or individuals. And there's lids out there. They come in all shapes, sizes, and they're going to attack you. It doesn't matter what band you're on. They have nothing better to do, but it's okay. Shake it off. Get up. Go get a fresh cup of coffee. Come back. Start over. And don't let them ruin your day. You're the activator. When you run the activation, if you're running on paper log like I do, I have a video that shows that. It shows how I do it so that you understand. You don't have to do it my way. My way is only my way, not the right way. The only right way is the one that you choose to use, so keep that in your head. If you want to log on a computer or a laptop out in the field and the battery goes dead, yeah, make sure you take extra paper and pencil with you so the backup works. If you don't have a backup laptop out there or a backup software product, you're in trouble. You better have paper and pencil. If you start out activating, a suggestion only, again, don't do because I do it. Do paper logging. Do paper logging. Go home and use your software, whatever you use, and put it in manually and make sure it's right. Now, we're not in a race here. You don't have to get your activation completely logged and done immediately after you get home. Take your time. If it takes you 2 weeks, that's okay, period. You're not in a race with anybody but yourself. If somebody says, where is my record of our contact? When you get your logs up, that's when the record will be there. You're in control as an activator. You have other things in life to do besides sit there and worry, oh, I got to get this log up. I got to get it done, and people are going to get all over. Don't let them get over you. We all need each other. I need every hunter that's out there. That's how my numbers grow. I need every activator that's out there. That's how my numbers grow. See, we grow together. So, I've told you about taking control. Here's a method of taking control of your activation. When you got 10 people or 20 people, or if you listen to, and you need to listen to KE8 Papa Zulu November's pile-ups. I'll brag on him. I think mine are pretty good too, but that's another story. Go listen to the pile-ups. That's what's going to happen. When you got that many people calling at one time on the same frequency, plus or minus whatever, it is a cluster. And then, like what I do, now I'm different than him, and he does his on a laptop. That's fine. That works for him. What works for him doesn't work for me, but what works for me doesn't work for him. And I only use him because he's very good. But the noise you hear, it's overwhelming. Don't let it overwhelm you. Take control. I suggest do it on paper, take partial calls, go back and fill it in. And you go at your speed. You go at your speed, not mine. You want to have a little conversation with each party you talk with? That's you. It's your activation. There's no guideline that says you can't talk, you can't smile, you can't laugh, you can't have fun, because that's what amateur radio is about. When I run 200 plus contacts, I try very hard to be personable and friendly regardless. If somebody asks, what was the part? I don't get mad. Can't you see it on the spotting page? No. They might be blind. You don't know. So answer the question, do it in a tactful way, and next thing you know, break with you and QRZ and keep on running. People will figure out the activator. You have to remember, as an activator, you have a style that you're creating when you're out there. Okay? You have a style. Every activator has a way that they operate. Now, that's enough of that. Let's talk about some of the activators. How come they run so many activations but so few contacts? Their desire in what they're doing may be to have more activations in their resume. They may be where they have 15, 20 parks within a 10-mile radius. They may have a time constraint from lunch hour, medical reasons. There's many different results that we don't see when we're hunting that the activator is going through. Like right now, you're here, and I'm at one of my favorite local parks where I set up my antennas, I do my tuning, and my antennas are repair. They're blowing out the leaves today from the fence line. But I like this park. I would rather sit here at this park and share what I'm doing than to sit in my house and wait for the phone to ring. Okay? You're the activator. That's what I'm trying to say. It's your park. It's your activity. You use whatever radio you have. Somebody borrowed you. You wanted a raffle. It don't make a difference. If you want to run CW, listen, listen, listen. Go to the spotting page. Go to CW and look at who's running where and listen to them. Listen to the format. I can't remember Thomas's call right now. Outstanding CW operator. Go listen to him. I'll give you another CW note. K4YM. Bill, if you're running 12 words a minute and he's running 30 words per minute, he hears your call, he's down to 12 words a minute automatically because he knows what it's like. There's many of the POTA people that will literally slow down to your speed, so don't be intimidated by it. If you got to try it. I've done it. I don't care to do a POTA activation because I don't have it up here to handle it. And that's me. We're not all the same, so it's okay. All right? You can do CW and enjoy it and have lots of fun. One of the guys in our club is very active in CW and runs some outstanding numbers and has a ball. There's folks that do digital. That's all they want to do. That's fine if that's what they want to do. There's a lot here for all of us to play with. But as an activator, take a backup, paper and pencil if you're going to use a logging device because you may need it. Make sure you test your equipment. Test it at your house, test it at your local park, test it in your neighbor's backyard, wherever. But test setting it up and taking it down. Don't go out on a whim and think, well, I can do it. No, set it up, take it down. Set it up, take it down. Make sure your coax that you use is good. Have a backup just in case one goes bad. It happens. If you have an analyzer, test your equipment, test your antennas, and make sure you're within the tolerance level. Let's bring up a big note right here. Have a band plan chart handy. Okay? and not as a placemat, but read it. Know where you as a general or an advanced, such as myself, or an extra have a reason and a place to go to. Don't assume anything. As an advanced, I can go to a certain part of the bands that generals can't go to. Two reasons I would go there. One is to eliminate a lot of the pileup, like Support Your Park Weekend coming up. If I go to the advanced portion of the band, I'll have less of a pileup, still be able to maintain all the contacts, and then go back to the general portion. But I'm not going to put somebody on the edge, 3KC, plus or minus, you know how that goes. 3KC away from the edge of the band is simple. Don't do it. Don't force somebody else to go outside of their band, and don't be crazy enough to think, well, I can't find a place. Don't put yourself in jeopardy. It's not worth the price. It really isn't. So take your band plan chart with you. Make sure you have it so that you'll always know where you can legally operate from. That's important. The radio, that's yours. The antenna, if you want to, when the weather's cold, use ham sticks. If that's all you can afford, that's awesome. Use your ham sticks. Use your Hustler resonators. Make sure they're tuned. They're set for the right part of the band that you're on. And then go have fun. Go have fun. As an activator, don't assume that whatever band you're going to be on, there's going to be activity. It don't work that way. There's propagation things. I'm going to share a quick note, and then I see I've got 21 minutes, and I want to get this thing buttoned up so I can get it online. On the East Coast is nothing like the West Coast or the Midwest. Areas have different propagation at different times for different bands. So wherever you're at, wherever you're watching this video from, learn your propagation for the bands that you will be operating at your park at whatever UTC time you're at. This here is for the East Coast, and I'm going to give you the following. And this is what I use, and it's just for me, myself, and I. All three of us have agreed and not had a fight about it. But on the East Coast, when I start out at roughly 1,200 to 1,300 UTC, I start out on 75 or 40 meters. 75 or 40 meters from 1,300 UTC to 1430 UTC. I'm going to try to work as much as I can off of 40 meters before I shuffle to 17 or 20. 17 or 20. Then again, this is on the East Coast. This is for me. This is what I do. Once I go from 17 to 20, then I'll go to 15, 10, and 12, and I'll play. But I'll listen to the bands that I go to see what activity may be there. I'll watch the spotting page, because the spotting page will tell me more where people are activating at and give me an idea whether I want to go try there. If I don't see something there on a band, I may want to go try and bring people there. Some activators want 10, 12, 14 contacts. That's great. Get your 10, 12, 14 contacts, but always make sure you have enough so you can submit the law. Me, I like a lot of contacts, and if you watch how I operate, I run them hard, but I try to be very friendly and professional when I do it. You're not a number, you're a contact, and I appreciate each one. So whatever you choose, you're the activator. Don't let the hunters control you, tell you one more. If you want to go QRT, you say, I'm QRT. You know, you got to go pee. You got to eat. You might get sick. The wife might be hollering at you. The husband might be hollering at you. The kids might be chasing. There's things going on that other people don't see. You're the activator. And you go out and you have fun, and you use your radio, and you use your antennas, and you prepare for the next Parks on the Air edition. The only challenge you have is against yourself. Don't be like me. Don't be like Bill or Miss Carrie. Don't be like Judith. Don't be like Kent. Don't be like Brian. All those people are beautiful people, but they're not you. You set up your activation style and equipment, antennas, from ham sticks to end feds to buddy poles to Wolf River coils to dipoles. It's endless. It's your activation. May God bless you. Thank you for taking the time if you listened all the way to the end of this. This is for you. Go out and have fun. Get outside the house. I'm sorry again for all the noise, but you know what? It feels good to be outside today. NC4XL, North Carolina for extreme lovers. I'm not just a crazy, darling old man here in North Carolina. 73.